Well, this is certainly going to be a different kind of intro for us this week. We went ahead and recorded a fantastic interview with Bob Rogers from Lance Camper, and it's still intact. We are going to hear it here shortly. It's fantastic, but Lindsay, PJ, and I did forget to record an intro for this episode. So here I am sitting on a Sunday afternoon recording an intro in my living room. Welcome to RV Small Talk Podcast, where we talk about lightweight trailers, truck campers, and the people, places, and adventures that go right along with them. We're your hosts from Princess Craft RV, or today, my living room. I'm Clint, and Lindsay and PJ will be joining me shortly when we get into the section where we actually recorded the podcast. If you'd like to see show notes for this episode or any other episode we've ever recorded, head on over to rvsmalltalk.com. You can find us socially on Facebook at RV Small Talk Community, or we do have a YouTube channel as well, where you can find us as RV Small Talk Podcast. If you have any questions, recommendations, comments that you'd like to send our way, hop into your favorite email app and drop us a line at questions@rvsmalltalk.com. Without much further ado, let's hop on into this great interview that we did with Bob.
So today, so excited, we get to talk to Bob Rogers from Lance Campers. And hey, Bob, we've known you for a long time, and I'm glad you could join us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, Bob Rogers, Lance Camper. Been with Lance about 8 years now, and work on the marketing team here, as well as assisting with a little bit of the product development and some of the other things that we do. We're kind of a smaller group, so we all kind of pitch in. But yeah, just really excited to be here. I love this format. I love podcasting. We jumped into it early on as a manufacturer and then just had to get away from it because we're so busy with other stuff. But I really want to get back into it. And yeah, today I'm coming from my home office. I work remote 2 days a week and then on-site 3 days a week up at Lance.
Well, we relate to all of those things, because we have almost scrapped ours a couple of times because, man, when you get busy, it is a project.
The advantage of having 3 podcast hosts is when one person is out of town or really, really busy, you still got the other 2.
Yeah,
that's true.
Cool.
That's really helped us.
Yeah, it's just such a neat format and a fun format. And so, yeah, actually, we were at SEMA this year with our prototype adventure trailer, Enduro, and I was able to participate in a couple of podcasts there right inside the unit, and it's just a great format. So I'm really excited and proud of you guys for starting it and just growing it. Every year you guys get better and better, and Lindsay grabbed onto it and done a wonderful job with it. So fantastic, and kudos to you guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we built the entire thing off of Lindsay's laugh. That is our rock. That is what we hold on to week after week.
That'll work. We have a DJ here in Los Angeles that's how she makes her living. So keep it up, Lindsay.
Well, we're excited to talk to you because you have, with your marketing expertise, you have a good handle on kind of what's happening in general in the market. So, one of the things we wanted to start off with is, what is in the mind of the buyer now? Is it different than maybe we saw 2 years ago? I know you see all the demographics. What are you seeing that's different now?
Well, I'll be very, you know me, I'm very authentic and honest about things. Because of the last 2 years, I haven't been in touch with consumers on a face-to-face basis nearly as much as we're used to. We just haven't gone to the shows. Yeah, we just haven't gone to the shows and had that. But we still have every owner survey that we get on our new product. I read. And we have, as you know, a very active owner group, Lance Owners of America, and they're very vocal and very active about what they like or don't like about the brand and the product. Matter of fact, I just spent almost a half day with an individual that happened to stop by Lancaster and walk them through the 2022 product. And so, we're familiar with that and obviously stay in touch with our reps that, like Scott, that calls on you guys a lot. But I think that the biggest change that we've all seen is, just a couple things. The mindset is just the wait. Having to wait on a new product that is $40,000 to $70,000. People aren't used to that. They are more now because the automotive side had to follow suit. with the chip shortages and so forth. So
that's true.
And other shortages. So it's become more of a norm. But in the beginning, that was just such a, we had dealer inventory and we could pretty much, sell what you see and didn't have to wait that long for an order. But now with the wait period, that's been the biggest mindset that I've seen change. But I said now people are getting used to that. And then just the demographic that we've seen come into the market with, a bigger change to first-time buyers and non-experienced RV buyers coming in, asking questions that we just normally don't get. And especially versus the Lance typical buyer, as you guys well know, they're pretty educated by the time they get to the dealership.
Absolutely.
They do their homework. I call them blue collar engineers, man. They are very anal about what they know.
Can I steal that? That's perfect. That is perfect.
You can, because to me, I have cutouts of Mr. and Mrs. Lance in my office that I try to refer to anytime I develop a marketing piece. I'm talking to the right person. It's got their age, their psychographics, their demographic, and that kind of thing. And man, Mr. and Mrs. Lance, they know their stuff when they come in. So, the newer buyer and our first time buyer rate, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me for the last year, but probably went from, mid 20% to almost 50%.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We are actually, we were tracking actually almost 30%, which is pretty high for a mature brand like us beforehand, but it jumped to, almost 50%, which was huge. So that buyer coming in, as you guys can attest to, it's probably the same with every brand, has different questions, has more than that, has different expectations. Yeah. And just cut me off because I'll ramble for the next 3 hours. So what
we're not very good at that. So
PJ knows, but So I'm sorry, Lindsay. The one point I wanted to make before I forget, because I'm getting older and I'll forget it, is they want the Lexus experience, versus they don't understand that the RV experience is not an automotive experience. And when I talk of that level of maturity in an industry, the automotive market is up here. Motorsports, which I spent some time in, is kind of in the middle. And our industry is really down here in terms of sophistication.
Well, why is it that way?
And it's interesting because what we sell, from an insurance and finance standpoint, is a luxury item.
Oh,
and here
maybe we need to start selling with our pinky up.
There you go. All right, let's try it.
Change the RV industry one pinky at a time.
Man, I got to write this stuff down.
I know. Get a pen and paper.
These are gems here.
Well, if you're charging them $70,000, wouldn't you expect the Lexus Experience? That's hard to say.
Lexus Experience.
You might need to run with Audi or something. If you can't say Lexus.
The Mercedes Experience. That kind of rolls off the tongue a little better.
There you go.
So
I think that's a big part of it, because you're spending $60,000-$70,000, which if you bring a $70,000 Lexus home, by gosh, every little thing on that car better work,
and it better work perfectly.
It better work perfect from day one.
Everything ought to be great. Well, why isn't the RV industry that way? I think that's the question everybody asks. Why? I bought a car, I didn't have this problem.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing it comes down to it, and how, again, it's the sum of the parts. It's how it's designed, it's how it's produced, are the biggest things.
Okay.
When you look at the automotive industry, they'll take 2 to 3 to 4 years to design in CAD and in electronic systems a product, and then take another year to 2 years prototyping it. And they'll have prototype every different level and test every different level, offline, online. And by the time that thing rolls off the production line on their first, product production, it's had a lot of rigorous testing behind it and design experience behind it. It all comes down to dollars. And then when you look at the production line, if you've ever gone to a automotive assembly plant and then compared it to a typical RV assembly plant, you'll see that they're probably 70% robots, 80% robots in some case. I haven't seen a robot in an RV assembly plant yet.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that.
Not even a Roomba? Surely there's a Roomba.
Not even a Roomba. I have one in my house, but not at the factory. But I think there's huge opportunity because robots have come down in price and functionality is a lot easier. It's more user interface. Anybody can program a robot now. So I think you're going to see that. And I look at like CNC machines.
Yeah, I can't.
I know you won't be able to jump in. It's possible. I had my energy drink this morning.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's crazy. So look at CNC, for instance. And we started,
Right.
we were the first RV manufacturer to have a CNC machine in a plant about 13 years ago.
I remember that.
Yes.
And now they're just, Winnebago just got one put in a couple years ago, and they're just starting to come on. I think you'll see robots in the not too distant future. But in summary, that's why I think the quality is different for the same price.
And a CNC machine, if you don't know what that is, it's a computerized cutting machine, basically, that is like a big, giant computerized jig, right?
Yep.
That cuts out sidewalls, it cuts out panels, it cuts the windows out.
Exactly.
Yeah, we still have customers who say, well, I think maybe this was cut an inch wider than the one next to it. And I'm like, no, that didn't happen.
And so that, when we talk about Lance quality and why we're kind of a premium product, that's a big piece of it. CNC machines are not cheap.
Right.
To buy, to set up properly, and then to maintain properly. But it gives you that quality time and time again. You get that consistent cut.
Right.
And when you walk into a Lance and you go, well, why is the Lance this price, and why is the quality a little bit better, and that kind of thing, and you see the zero tolerance where the wall hits the ceiling and things like that. You don't see tape, you don't see GIMP. That's why, because we have those things in place, and it starts with the CAD drawing that gets down to the shop floor, which goes in the CNC machine, and you get a perfect part every time. That's all combines to what we have. Yeah.
Right. Another difference between RV and automotive industry is by the time that product has gone through the design, and all the prototyping, by the time there is a product coming off the line, that automotive company, that automotive brand actually owns pretty much the whole thing, horizontally and vertically. They
own all the components.
Exactly.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, they own the components. They probably produced it, or they've branded an OEM component and they warranty every single component. And
they do.
New buyers do not compute that typically.
Right. Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Even though, they use a Bose stereo, that Bose has been custom made for that particular model. Not brand, but that model, and been in a sound tunnel and tested and that kind of thing.
Right.
So you're exactly right. And then they stand behind the warranty from the dealer. So you don't get the finger pointing of, whose job is it to fix this piece. So, and that goes into the dealer experience. So every step of the way, there's huge, and it's the reason why I came into the industry, quite honestly, to use some of that expertise to apply it in our industry. And we still have. That's the cool thing about our industry. There's so much opportunity for the manufacturer that wants to take hold of and quite honestly, the dealer. It's not just manufacturer, it's supplier, it's manufacturer, it's dealer, to improve the design, the manufacturing, and the servicing. Look at the servicing side. My gosh, you guys can attest.
Yes, we can.
To have to wait, more than a few weeks or whatever to get an appointment, number one, and then not get it fixed right the first time. In the automotive industry, it was all about fixed right the first time. Mm-hmm. If that car came in and did not get fixed right the first time, everyone got involved, and we had huge staff to just deal with that, and all the things that go behind that and support that in terms of parts availability, technician training, quality control. We have leaps and bounds to go there, but making huge strides.
And in this business, it's okay, well, if that didn't fix it, let's look at something else. Let's try it. It is not unusual. I mean, it's not the norm, but it is not unusual to have to look in a different direction, contact more people, wait on parts. It certainly isn't the Lexus experience a lot of times in service. It's really a shame. It's such a shame.
And to me, I get excited about it because the opportunity, I mean, it's huge.
Yes.
And you guys, I think, are really, really good at that. And when you look at the differentiators between our owner surveys, how they rate dealerships, it really comes down to that relationship and how fast you can get it fixed. But communication, are you staying in touch with me? on what's going on.
Right.
That's a huge deal. Even if it's in the shop for, a few days or even weeks, as long as I know as a customer, you're keeping me informed of what's going on, I feel a lot better. But we're so busy, we may not reach out to that customer, and all of a sudden they're going, what's going on? And they don't know that. So, but anyway, there's huge opportunity to improve and keep doing it. And the market is crazy. And COVID, bless COVID for our industry. We've had a record-setting year. This year looks as good as last year, which is phenomenal.
But we've also had all those shortages and backlogs and issues to go along with it. So as long as people are patient, they can get a trailer and they can go out and have fun. Yeah, and if half of them are newbies, that really clogs up the service department too. We have a tremendous amount of user error problems come into our service department. So I know what you're talking about. Now, there is a lot of talk about Mr. and Mrs. Lance becoming a lot younger than they used to be. Are you seeing that? We are. And it's really the two separations on the demographics. They're a lot younger, and COVID has forced a lot of that, or brought a lot of that, I think, which is a great thing for us, because, it's one of the few alternatives you had to safely distance, socially distance. And matter of fact, I did an ad campaign on that all last year. Wonderful.
And it's been great, but their expectation is totally different. They don't want to fix, they want the product to work right the first time. They want it to be, the user interface to be simple. And they don't want to fix it themselves. Whereas our typical, Mr. and Mrs. Lance, almost, especially on the truck camper side, and you guys can support me on that, they're almost proud of the fact that they fixed it themselves.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Right?
All experts. They've been in every access panel. They've probably diagrammed it.
Yes. And if they're not engineers, they wish they were.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, they'll call us and say, hey, can I get a diagram of this, whatever? We're like, yeah, because we have it all on CAD. Sometimes we can help that out. Not always.
Well, and I will tell you, you are, and have been for years, one of the only manufacturers we work with that pretty consistently has information, drawings, electrical schematics, all of those things when customers ask about them.
Because we have customers who ask about it for everything.
Yes.
Nobody has it.
Nobody has it. You guys
we'll give it to the customer.
Or maybe we get something that's kind of close. That's recent. I think the rest of the world in the RV industry is starting to realize that's important. But when new RVs can be designed and put out on the market in a matter of months, then it is, and parts get switched out pretty regularly or adjusted or changed in mid-production. When you think about making a Lexus, how many hundreds do they make exactly alike going down the line? And in the RV industry, that's not so. You, Lance just changed, but you had how many options? Maybe 50?
We had a lot, but that's one of the things I want to talk about for the 2022. I think we streamlined that, and I think we have we took over 20, about 24, 25 previously optional things and made them standard.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
huge difference.
Simplifies the ordering, right, from inventory side, from your side.
And it simplifies the customer's understanding, too. When you're shopping for a trailer, I mean, most people don't ask, and they should, but they don't ask, okay, I'm in this trailer. I really like it. What's optional?
What am I seeing that I have to add?
Yeah. No, it's true. And again, Automotive, looking at it as packages, right? They learned that years ago, and you have package ABC or performance package or sport package, and then and that kind of thing. So I think we're following suit and going that way, and still have a long way to go, but I think that'll help everybody in the long run. So we're excited about that as well. But going back to that first time buyer, to me, it's really exciting to bring the age down. We're always going to get the boomers and the Xers coming in looking at our stuff, because that's just one of the things you have to do when you retire. It's a mandate. You got to think about an RV.
That's how you get your AARP card?
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the
I don't know. My experience is they just start mailing them to you way early. And
way too early, right? Yes. They started me like at 40, I swear. Come on.
It's what it felt like.
That's because you can get the AARP benefits before you're of age.
And oh man,
you probably get AARP benefits at like 35,
heck yes.
Right? Yeah.
I'm already signed up.
Luby's loves me.
Luby's closed.
Oh, they don't love me. Sad.
But it does.
No,
it's kind of a shock when you get that.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like, oh my gosh. But anyway, no, I love it because they're just more fun to deal with. I'll just be honest with you.
Younger people.
Yeah, you know, the mindset. I love the lifestyle, and that kind of goes into, you know, our truck camper product as an alternative to the van life.
Right.
I've been going to overland type events for almost 7 years now, and overlanding is a word that a lot of people didn't know 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Right. And now it's a norm. It's part of the RV industry.
Hey, what is it? Yeah. And it's still growing like crazy.
Right.
I mean, I went to SEMA and they have a whole section, you know, just for overlanding. And that's where we displayed the Enduro. But it's young and exciting. It's a great lifestyle. I mean, you know, as RVers, we love the outdoor lifestyle. And, you know, they're typically involved in really adventurous lifestyle, even if it's just outdoor photography. But a lot of times it's, you know, skiing and snowboarding and mountain biking and fly fishing. And that's stuff I just love to do. And so I'm glad our customers are gravitating that way too. And I still love, you know, the people my age. I'm an oldie too. And I dig that too. But as an alternative to a van, once people, they hear about van life, right? And they think they want a Sprinter and they want to build out their Ford Transit van, and they find out, oh my God, that thing's small, or that takes a lot of money. Right. By the time I got done, I got 120 grand into it. And then they say, oh man, let's look at this alternative. What's that? What else is out there? And we show them a truck camper.
Yep.
Right.
Their mind is blown on the versatility of it, the functionality of it. I can use my daily driver truck and still go camping, and I have slide outs, and you know, the benefits of the truck camper is so great. And we've opened a lot of young people's eyes to that market, which to me is exciting.
I think that's super exciting. But honestly, a lot of the pushback we get is that much for a truck and a camper. I should just go get a van. But you know, a lot of times the price is the same or a lot more. Have you seen the new Winnebago vans that are out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And now they're super cool. And the Airstream, yeah. I mean, there's some crazy stuff out there, and you're looking at $200,000 plus.
$200,000 for a Sprinter van.
That's crazy. So,
and then it's really great because we do a lot of camping. Laura and I do, and we brought our kids up camping in the desert and doing the toy hauler thing. And you know, I've been fortunate to camp in every product from a folding camper to a diesel pusher, and I come back to a truck camper more than any of those now because of the versatility. And we can pull anything behind it we want. If we're not towing, we can go in the fast lane, which we love. But when we get there and we have friends that have Sprinter vans and they're camping with us, we like to off grid. We like to camp in BLM land and be off the grid.
Yes,
we don't go to campgrounds. They got their Sprinter van there, and you know what? They're struggling with where and how do I go to the bathroom? I can't take a shower. I got to have my coffee in the morning, and yeah, I do want to do my jet boil, but I think I'll run into town and get a Starbucks. You know, Laura and I are sitting over there with our 1172 with the slide outs out.
Yes, yes.
You know, it's warm. It's it's cool if we need it, and they're all just like, wow, that looks pretty enticing.
You don't have to break camp, and you don't have to break the piece that you're currently marinating in.
Right.
And the whole thing, marinating, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah. That's Clint.
Man, it's a good one. But the other thing cool that I love is, we talk about trends. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of talking a lot of different areas that I know you guys want to cover, but the whole solar trend and getting away from generators, the whole industry is moving that way. And I love it. I love it because of that reason. Man, our generators, they're loud, they're noisy, they're stinky. And if we can have battery power all of our appliances now with lithium batteries and solar, it's so cool.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Isn't California the state that just banned the sale of new generators in 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Lindsay, you're absolutely right.
Wow.
And
Isn't that crazy to think about?
Entire
Huh?
segments
Wow.
of off-road vehicles are no longer able to be sold unless they're tagged a certain way, and they can only be in certain places.
Yep.
Wow.
Big changes coming.
Yeah, I've dealt with that, and we've been doing that since I've been out here. We moved out here 25 years ago from Michigan, and have been riding off road all that time. And yeah, we have a red tag and a green tag, and you can only ride a red tag during certain seasons and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, so Lindsay, you're exactly right on the generators, and it's a huge deal. It's still, like any law, is being interpreted, and what is in and what's not, and it depends on if it's diesel, if it's propane, and portable, and all this kind of stuff. But it's the movement and it's the direction, just like EVs. And the sooner we all adopt it, and unfortunately, we were as an industry already moving that way.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years, if you look at the solar panel capability, and lithium batteries took it up to the next level.
I think there's some changes that the industry pushes and the consumer just kind of has to adopt. But I think that the move to solar and lithium and all that is either mutual or it's a little bit more consumer driven and dependent on the manufacturer, where the consumer is actually pushing the manufacturers that way a little bit faster.
I agree. We do so many upgrades every week here because people walk in and they say, I want my batteries to last longer and I don't want to have to put water in them. And boom, they'll do whatever it takes to move to lithium.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because it's more fun.
It is more fun.
It's more fun. It's like a puzzle, and people get to say, well, I have this many lithium batteries and all these solar panels, and they get to do their show off thing. But other than that, it's just a puzzle, and people really like trying to figure out how they can get the most power or how they can go the longest. And generators are too easy.
Well, no, I don't know if they're too easy. They're more loud, mechanical, messy, and
it's
really
way more fun with solar.
Yeah, it is. Lithium and solar really fits into what you were talking about with the younger crowd. They want the high tech, and they want it to just work.
Well, here's Lindsay. You hit the nail on the head. The younger generation.
Okay, you win. Are you saying she won? All right.
No, you're all right.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
All right too.
Okay, you're all right too, Bob.
No, you've hit it perfectly on the head. The younger generation, and it's consumer driven, asking for it. But the younger generation, they want it plug and play, because when you start trying to figure out what panels do I need, what inverter do I need, what batteries do I need? It gets very complex very quickly. And the younger generation says, listen, I want to order it from you guys, have it installed and have it work. No, it works. The older generation, they love to sit there, like Lindsay said, and develop their system and brag about it.
That's right.
I figured it out myself. I installed it myself. And I've got 18 lithium batteries and 25 solar panels, and I can power my neighborhood. So it's cool, but it's a lot of fun. And we've done a lot of experimenting, and I have a truck camper right now with 4 lithium batteries in it and 3 panels, and I ran the AC for I think 6 hours one day.
Wow!
With no problem at all, and it's awesome. So I'm a huge fan. Yeah.
Well, Lance was one of the first manufacturers I know that I knew of and that I carried for sure that had lithium actually on their option sheet. You guys started doing it even before you printed a new option sheet. You're like, hey guys, we can do this. And I mean, people started ordering it right off the bat. Yeah. So has that been a big piece for you? Have you seen a huge jump in people ordering lithium?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's crazy because it's not a cheap accessory.
No, it's not.
$1,000 plus a battery. It gets pretty expensive, but the benefits are great. So the battery's lighter, 30% lighter, sometimes 40%. It's absolutely sealed. It gives us the flexibility of mounting that battery anywhere now because it doesn't have to be vented.
Right.
So we can put weight distribution and packaging, which is so key in our product in different areas. And they just last longer. They last longer.
They do.
And the fact you can discharge down to 0% is a huge deal. And the only downside that we've run into, and they're already all over it, is the ability to work under freezing temperatures.
Right.
They will not take a charge under freezing temperatures typically, but the battery manufacturers are already all over it, doing heating blankets and heating things and built in. So within another year or two, that won't even be an issue.
And we're putting a lot of them inside. So if you're camping, the battery is actually inside with you. It's not going to be below freezing inside your camper. And then you don't have that problem. So that's another way to fix it. Okay, well, if generators are becoming problematic, how is that going to affect truck campers? Because we sell an awful lot of truck campers that have a built-in generator. Do you know
and
that?
I think it'll be, I think it'll be an evolution just like our generators. I mean, this year we put in a newer, quieter, running generator, which was a big step, quite honestly.
So what did you put in it?
It's just a new version from O&N. So it's their latest model, which is quieter and less vibration. But the next step is just going to batteries. And again, remember that's a propane generator,
right?
Not a gas or diesel, which has some benefits because it can run off your propane system. You don't have to have a separate gas system just for the generator, which is an advantage.
Well, before we get completely away from this demographics, which I'm fascinated with, have you seen, we've obviously seen a rise in trailers. Has the rise in truck campers been about the same amount, or how is that comparatively?
The rise in
sales.
Sales. Okay, I thought it was demographic. Yeah, in sales. No, not the same. It's been single digits in truck camper, double digits in trailers for multiple years now.
Okay.
So the growth curve on the trailer side is drastically different than truck camper side.
So the entry level people that are brand new that jumped up to 50%, they're buying trailers.
Absolutely.
They haven't caught on to truck campers yet. You need to do a good job here, Bob.
Yeah,
Train
no,
them
I agree
up on
with you.
how great those truck campers are.
No, and you're exactly right. And the one thing I think that will do that, and quite honestly, most of it's for first-time buyers, it's price.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, because
just think about how many times you have explained to somebody why a truck camper costs what it costs.
Right.
Right.
And I think truck campers still have the what is it? The myth, the persona, the air of being problematic and maybe top heavy. And if you're not familiar with them, they're kind of, I don't know.
No question. Yeah, the complexity of the purchase is higher in a truck camper than a trailer. You have to think about what truck I need. You have to think about the support equipment, obviously, right? And all those kind of things. I think that makes it a more difficult sale for you guys and for us to explain. We have to do a better job of explaining that, of how to go about doing that. But quite honestly, the lack of really good, high quality, easy to use half-ton truck campers in the market will be a limiting factor until that goes away. Because you just look at the numbers, right? The trucks in the market today, 90% of them are half-ton.
Right.
So you got 10%, which is 3/4 ton or 1 ton, and that's what we build.
Yeah.
We have the 650, which is half-ton, but it's on the upper end of it. You have to have the properly equipped truck to do that. So I think it's a combination of that. But here again, EVs is forcing us as manufacturers to look at lightweight everything, including truck campers. So I really am pushing our team to look at lighter truck campers that fit in half tons, number one, because half ton gas trucks aren't going away for the near future. Right. But at some point, all the EV trucks, people are going to be looking to put something in the back of them, and it's not going to be 1172.
How closely is Lance? How closely is Lance keeping an eye on the Tesla truck, the Cybertruck, and the Rivian? Are y'all keeping a good eye on that?
Yeah, we are. We look at that EV market a lot, and unfortunately, it's just the limitation of payload, number one, and range, number two.
Right, range is always what I hear.
Yeah,
yeah, and the big innovation there will be being able to let the vehicle, whether it's a trailer or a truck camper, recharge the vehicle with its own battery capacity. Because we just talked about how much we can store in our product.
Right,
we can store a lot of amp hours in those batteries.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
And if we're going down the road, there's no reason it can't put it back into the vehicle. So the real goal is to take that EV's range. When you throw a trailer on the back of an EV, the range goes from maybe 300 to 100. So if we can put power back into the EV and get it back up to the 300 range while it's still towing, then you've got a win-win. So that's, I think, where innovation is going to be.
I think Lance needs to develop a new 8 or 9 pin plug.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So is that on the drawing board?
Clint, I'm going to steal Clint. He needs to be on our R&D team. I know that.
Everybody needs a Clint. I swear.
I know what. I'll tell you what.
You need a Clint. You do not need our Clint.
Can't have him.
I follow the coffee.
There you go.
Yeah, that's unfortunately true.
So talking about solar and lithium, things like that, obviously it's a trend that we've seen growing rapidly. Are there any other trends that you're seeing in the RV industry that are getting bigger or about to be big?
Yeah, well, related to that is just the whole systems has to move to 12 volt. So when you look at the RV right now, we have systems of everything. We have 110, we have 12, we have propane, we have everything. So I think it's that whole innovation of how do you streamline all that and get more options, let's say in the 12 volt world. For example, smart TVs and 12 volt are very, very limited.
Right.
Everybody wants a smart TV. They want it big.
Right, of course.
Yeah, right. And you want it 12 volt, even though we're going camping, we want that big TV. So that's the next challenge and even on heating and cooling. And that's why we're using Truma in some of our trailers and products. And it's working out really well because you can use 12 volt, 110, or propane. And having that flexibility, I think, is going to be the biggest innovation moving forward to it. And then it's all about lightweight, Lindsay. It's lightweight and strength. How do you get the weight out of it and keep the strength? And typically lightweight and strength don't go together unless it's huge money, carbon fiber and that kind of thing. So to keep the price down and still make it lighter and stronger is the innovation that I see. And then how do you get EVs to work with everything we're doing?
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I know that the refrigerators have done a lot with 12 volt the past year or two, and they're becoming much more commonplace. But we still have the AC issue.
Yeah.
So that's still.
But it's interesting. Yeah, that's
problem.
still the big deal, right? But it's coming around. So the whole boondocking and 12 volt trend is pushing, again, the suppliers to come up with different things. And I think you'll see more innovation along those lines because we want our creature comforts, but we want it to be battery powered, 12 volt powered, I should say. So I think that's where you're going to see most of the innovation. Just my opinion.
I mean, I look around and I think the last two things that need that big surge of power are your AC and if you have a microwave.
Yeah.
And there are systems with inverters that make it possible, but those looking around, that's like our last two standouts.
That's
the AC
right.
and the microwave.
And I'm okay passing on a microwave, and I think a lot of people could work around that. But you cannot work around an air conditioner in a lot of climates, including ours. You just can't.
As you guys know, yep.
You just can't.
Yep. And in the northern climate, it's all about heat in the winter, and so those are the big things. And again, Clint, you hit it on the head. So ACs are coming along. And matter of fact, in our Enduro prototype, we had a little portable 12 volt AC system. And if the rig is small enough, it works. But once you get into the larger trailers, you're going to need a replacement for that AC. But again, they're getting more efficient and they will work on 12 volt. We've proven it. And I think you're going to see a lot of innovation in that area as well.
From a marketing standpoint, because this is kind of a realm I exist in here at Princess Craft, what are the shifts happening on where RVers are? Where can you connect with RVers now? On social media platforms and things like that. Where are they at? What are they listening to? What's working?
Well, I've been doing marketing for a little while, and my big thing is always just find out who your customer is. You got to identify the customer, and then where do they hang out? And when hang out, I mean, where do they consume their media?
Where do they connect?
Where do they connect? Exactly.
Right.
Where they consume media, what events do they go to, what clubs do they go to, that kind of thing. And that'll answer all the questions you just asked there. So in our market, again, the two very different demographics, the traditional millennial or Gen Z and or Gen X and Boomer, social has always been Facebook, and it's not changing for them. They're not migrating too much to Instagram and other platforms. When they do, it's because their grandkids forced them to.
Darn grandkids.
They don't want to be there, but they'll be there for their grandkids.
Exactly. But
Well,
when
that's
they go
how they
there,
got on Facebook.
I was about to say they didn't want to be on Facebook either.
That's how they
and
got
now they
there.
love it.
Exactly. But when they go there, it's truly for social. It's not for educational or for research.
Right.
Right.
But that's that group, and I watch it really closely because we spend a lot of time and effort in social media and Facebook, and we watch. And the only reason we're on social media, quite honestly, is to let people know about the brand, and hopefully they'll move over to our website to learn about our product more and find their local dealer.
Yeah. Right.
And then once they're at the dealer, our job is accomplished. So they move from Facebook to our website really well, and for that demographic, not from Instagram and other things. Although the one that I always find just intriguing is Pinterest.
Pinterest,
Isn't
y'all.
that
Yeah.
crazy?
Clint and I look at that
It's the
too.
craziest thing. How does it keep on going?
And when I bring it up to a younger generation of social media expert or people that are involved in it, they look at me like, yeah, you're 61 years old. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Pinterest was 20 years ago. And I say, well, let me look at my analytics, because I just care about my analytics.
Exactly.
I don't care about what I like or anybody
We
else
see the
like. I
same
look at my
thing.
analytics.
Right.
I get more traffic. So on Facebook, we have about 220,000 followers. On Pinterest, I think we have 4,000 or something, 3,000. We get more traffic from Pinterest to our website than Facebook.
Right. I don't know how they do a
Lindsay, wake up.
remarkable job of.
I'm awake.
They do a remarkable job of sending backlinks straight to your website, and people click on them. They see an image,
That's
they
right.
click on it, off they go to your website, and it's unreal what Pinterest does.
Yes.
I have to remind myself it exists, but every time I look
I was
at our
about to say, when's the
analytics,
last time you logged into Pinterest? And
would you believe?
never?
Yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
For what? Chicken soup recipe?
It was motorcycle related.
There you go. Lindsay, let me tell you. And Clint, another thing. Sorry, PJ, but we're going to make Clint an offer he can't refuse. But
No, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah, I know where you live.
yeah, I know. That's all right. We'll get him down to Baja one of these years. It'll all be good.
It will be good.
So, from a demographic standpoint, most people associate Pinterest with female, usage. Not the case.
Right.
Talk about Clint. And what I use it for, I have fly fishing.
Yep.
I have motorcycles.
Yep.
I have adventure trailer, because I want to see square. I want to see what's going on in the squareback world. And I look at it every day, Lindsay. Every day I get a feed. Oh my gosh. I can tell you what.
Maybe I should get back on Pinterest.
Pinterest is so good about throwing it in your face. They market to your email constantly. Hey, you got some cool stuff here. Check it out. And you can't resist, just pushing the link and taking a look. And then you're hooked, because there is, instead of, Instagram where you get one picture and you have to scroll.
Yeah.
They just throw 500 pictures at you.
And
you're
one
like,
leads to 20 more, which leads to 50 more.
All squirrels and rabbit trails. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's all squirrels and rabbit
But
trails.
it's just Pinterest. It's the ultimate consumer, but it just makes you feel bad, because it's a bunch of stuff you aren't never going to buy, and a bunch of stuff you can never make, and a bunch of ideas you can never fulfill. That's why I got off it. It was just sad.
But people like to
Is that not how
see
y'all use
that.
Pinterest?
People like to see
I
that.
don't. I quite honestly, I think, and a lot of our customers use it for ideas. It's all about DIY. When you look at, and one of the things on social that we love on our page, all of our platform, is what did you do to your rig to make it different? And van life has brought a new level to that,
that's
right?
True.
And you look at the cool remodeling and the stuff that they do, and they're so proud of what they've done, and some of them are just killer.
And they should be, man.
Yeah, they look great. So for ideas, and just like we did, if you're going to remodel your bathroom, and you look at ideas for that, but on the guy side of it's solar. I mean, look at pictures for how I laid out my solar. I'm tying flies. Okay, what's the best bluing olive pattern, for over here? So it's really amazing. And again, analytics led me to that, not a personal use of it, but it's what does our demographic use? Our younger demographic is definitely heavily weighted towards Instagram and YouTube.
Okay.
And you guys are the YouTube masters, Miss PJ, hero of YouTube walk around.
I did that.
Yes.
Again, Clint is responsible.
Yeah. No, well, it was before Clint's time when you started that.
No.
You don't know. I wasn't even employed and I was doing that here.
Clint videoed those walkthroughs from the very beginning, probably 2010.
Before I was on the payroll.
Yeah.
Years ago.
He's the one that started it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well,
finally, 3 or 4 years ago, I had to hire him.
Well, you guys, as you well know, you're part of my marketing arm. You don't know that, but you with your
we
videos,
know.
you drive more traffic to our website than anybody almost. But no, so we have to look at all the platforms. Bottom line, here's a new platform that it's not new; it's been around for a long time, but it's becoming a factor in marketing. Is LinkedIn?
Yes, I know.
LinkedIn
I'm exhausted
as a platform,
thinking about it.
Yeah,
really?
no,
Yes.
just quite honestly.
Crazy.
We just started a branded LinkedIn site for Lance just a few months ago.
It's on my to-do list, PJ.
Yeah. No, what happens is, it's typically a networking site, right?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And hey, if you're looking for a job and that kind of thing, it's become a social site. So
it has.
The crossover from a branding or a product site, a manufacturer site, or even a dealer site on LinkedIn, to your personal site of that employee, from the CEO down to anybody, has crossed over. And so employees are posting pictures from the brand, and the brand is talking about their brand and the people and the products and all that. So it's becoming another major platform to be involved in.
So if I want to know about Lance, I can just go to LinkedIn and I'll get to see everybody.
You'll see I'll be honest with you, we're just getting going on it. We've got a long
Give him
way
a
to
second.
go.
Okay.
Give us a few months, but yeah, it's just another platform that has come up and become a tool for everybody. So
are you on TikTok?
We are not. And probably won't be.
Okay.
But our customers are, and again, the younger demographic is, and the older demographic is, again, just because they get sent stuff from their kids and grandkids. But
that's right.
No, I haven't seen from a corporate standpoint the benefit of it. And again, I think just like anything else, you have to prioritize and focus.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what that means.
She doesn't. She does
Honestly,
not know what you
I don't
just
know
said.
what that means. I have Clint and Lindsay, so I don't need to do either of those.
Right. I hear you. So, we kind of look at all of that and monitor it all, but we try to focus our attention on certain things, and that hasn't been one. But video obviously is the huge thing everywhere, and whatever platform that ends up being on, whether it's a 3-second shot or a 20-minute walk around, that's, as you guys know, is the key to everything. As a matter of fact, moving to our product side of it is electronic owner's manuals. When you talk about the younger generation and the usability side of things, how do I work this stereo? My God, how do I work my new Truma, heater? So putting all that on video and having an electronic owner's manual is a big priority for me this year.
That would be awesome. We see a lot of manufacturers doing that. Mm-hmm. Such a huge help for the service department who gets all the crazy calls. We can just direct people there. And it is that way too with trying to figure out what's wrong with your furnace or why your refrigerator is making that noise. We can direct people to online manuals and they can just sit there on their phone and look it up and read about it. Well, it's really great.
The greatest learning resource out there in the world right now is YouTube. So if you have these video manuals out on YouTube and you have them time stamped, Google searches serves up those timestamps specifically for the question asked.
Yeah, and that's the key, because our owner's manuals, with our diversity of product and models, it's a generic owner's manual, and that's what's most frustrating for somebody to say, I got a 1475 and it doesn't have that stereo in it; it's got this stereo in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, or heaven forbid you change stereos. right?
Yeah.
You know,
Like
and then we're all shot in the foot.
Yeah. But
it
you know,
happens.
YouTube's phenomenal. And, you know, our suppliers are doing a really good job of, hey, here's a online, you know, video of how to get started, and we can share that with our customers as well. So not every manufacturer has to do their own specific one on the component side of it, which is good. So we've worked really good, you know, with all the major suppliers, and hopefully we can get better at getting that accessible so people don't have to search so much. You know, that's kind of the goal, right?
Yeah.
What about RV shows? It's 2022. They're coming back.
Listen, everybody wants to go to a show now. I think people are so ready.
What do you think that's going to look like, or how do you think it's going to impact the RV industry?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year. I think there's so much pent-up demand. I'm cautiously optimistic. It really just comes down to what's going on with COVID in that month, really. It's not even a year thing anymore. It's month to month. It's
true.
And it's state to state, and it's city to city, and it's venue to venue. So I think total attendance wise will be at or slightly below the norm before COVID. And I'm going by experience. So SEMA this year was the first time they came back after being away 2 years, and it was about 80% of pre-COVID attendance. Pretty darn good. You know, there's a lot of people there.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people there. I think the Tampa Super Show this month will be our first indication of what it's going to be like for the rest of this season, at least the winter show season, what we call the winter show season. And I think that'll be a good indicator of it, what it's going to be like. But I think it's going to be good. But I'm cautiously optimistic at the total numbers. And the other side of it is just product availability. You know, if we can't get a lot of product to those shows, that could cause attendance to come down a little bit. But people go to those shows because they just want to see what's out there. They want to be back in the lifestyle and get psyched up again. So I think we're going to have good attendance this year. I really do, whether you have to wear a mask or don't, you know, or prove vaccination or not. I think it's going to be good.
If there's a show, people will want to attend just to be out there in that venue and see what's happening.
Yeah. And you look at, you know, concerts and football games and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, even though what's going on with the spike now, you know, there's still sold out NFL football games going on.
Right.
So I think you'll continue to see that.
Well, before we let you go, Bob, I have one last question.
Yeah.
Can you give us any hints of any really cool stuff that's coming down the pike in Lance?
Yeah, all the 2022 product.
He got you there.
I wanted the real scoop.
Wait, you were talking earlier about the Adventure Extreme something that you took to SEMA?
What? Oh, yeah, that. Too.
Yeah, that. Is that a real thing?
What is that?
Before I get to that, can I talk about the 22 just a little bit? I got to brag on the 22.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
I got to brag on it. I'm really excited about it. And you guys, I think you've got some by now, one or two. Or
we got one. It's already sold and gone, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really excited because the new decor is number one. You know, they're fresh, they're light, which customers have been asking for a while.
Yes. Very modern, very clean. Yep. It's really
look good. You know, I think all three of them look good. You know, I don't think there's a loser in the bunch. So I'm really excited about that. I'm also excited about the graphics. I love the new Euro-inspired graphics, standard graphics on the trailer. I think they look really good. I love all the black accents to it. So I think overall it's really good. Like we talked about earlier, the combination of the standard features now becoming options. It's a lot less confusing to people. So I think that's all good. And we continue to add and innovate with solar and inverters, you know, more and more. And that kind of thing. So I'm excited about that. The window change, both the window itself and the screen and shade mechanisms being all Euro style is phenomenal. If you've never camped with those windows, you got to do it. The access of it can almost go 90 degree, you know, vertical. And if you get cross ventilation between the old window, they had the little crank out at the bottom of the glass piece, right? a world of difference. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
on the desert in 105 degrees at night, and that breeze coming across was just gorgeous.
Yep.
And the screen goes up and down, the privacy and everything else. The entry door. I mean, simple things like the entry door with the built-in screen,
Right.
the Euro door. So all of that stuff makes it the experience a lot more fun and enjoyable. And I think our people are going to love it. And so that I'm excited about that product. I'm excited about, the little things that people don't see, like the Goodyear tires. They don't think about stuff like that. And they'll ask the question, you guys ask it, why does Lance cost what it does? It's the sum of the parts, right? And we don't skimp on components. We use Goodyear tires and that kind of thing. And it all costs more, but I think it gives a better quality product. So that's what I'm excited about. And I'm excited about some of the family-oriented models. Obviously the 2465 has done good, and
Right.
I think we'll continue to do better. And actually the Nonslide models. I mean, I love the 2075, but
Well, how do you
I
not? It's such a great trailer.
And I think more people will line up behind that non-slide thing, that I don't have to have the slide so much. I mean, slide outs are phenomenal, and it just increases the livability. But the 1475 without a slide is a great trailer as well. So I think that innovation will continue to look at smaller, lighter, non-slide units, and that'll be fun. But going, Lindsay, I didn't want to. I want to talk about that product a little bit because it's so cool, and I'm really passionate about it. It really came out of the fact that we need to do more innovation, more testing of stuff. Whether it gets to market or not, I don't know. We haven't made that decision yet. But the fact that our direction and the Rev Group is letting us look at stuff like that, to me, is really exciting. So real quickly, we, going to these overland venues, we saw that there's a huge market for lightweight, small, off the grid stuff that can be towed behind a 3,500 pound GVWR vehicle or max tow rating vehicle, or at least 5,000.
So what we're talking about is the one you took to SEMA, right?
Yeah,
which is a real small off-road, off-the-grid type trailer. Yeah. Does it have a name? And you
guys know, I mean, it does. And you guys know, I mean, you're the master of small trailers in Texas, right? So you know that market better than anybody. Yeah, it's called the Enduro.
Enduro.
And so, we looked at the overland thing and said, okay, and quite honestly, asking friends and consumers, what's the minimum things you want to have in a trailer that size? So a lot of the customers are Jeepers, and so they're limited to either a 5,000 or a 3,500 pound towing capacity. So, okay, let's make it 3,500 GVWR, bring it in, say, 2,500 pounds. So you got 1,000 pounds of cargo capacity, or 800 or something like that. But what are the main features you got to have? And quite honestly, the females on this side said, I got to have an indoor toilet. That really is important to me. I don't like having to go to use the public one. I don't like having to go in a bucket or whatever. So I want that inside. And a lot of people said inside shower. And I did a survey. I did a lot of consumer surveys. So I put out a survey monkey to all of our LOA members and just said, hey, what are the weights? What are the features? All this kind of stuff you like. And that's how we got to where we did. And it really involved around, I'd love to have stand-up height somewhere in the unit. Doesn't have to be the whole unit.
Right.
Without a pop-up. So if you look at a lot of the trailers, they're pop-ups, and that brings a whole realm of different issues with the water access and all that stuff.
Right.
So
and
we
parts
wanted
moving, canvas, fold-ups, all of that, latches.
Yeah. So simple, hard. So that started out and said, okay, let's make it in the back. Let's make a 6 foot or whatever the thing is, and we'll put a small wet bath in there, and you take care of those things. And then simply sleeping facility, and everything else can be outside. So the exterior kitchen, and it drove all that form factor of it. And then we developed it and built a prototype all within, I think, 7 months, and took it to SEMA and just to get reaction. And we just wanted to find out, get the voice of the consumer, which is huge. Typically in the RV industry, we don't do a lot of that. We listen to our dealers, we listen to our reps, we listen to some of our customers, but we don't go like the automotive industry and take that prototype to an auto show and get reaction.
Right.
So that's what this was all about. Let's just find out, do they like the idea?
So how was the reaction?
It was very, very good.
Okay,
Very
so
good. Yeah, over the top good.
maybe next year we get to see this.
I really hope so. Our challenge, quite honestly, I don't think it's any secret, is trying to get produced what is already sold.
Right.
And
right.
so we have to
say.
I think that's everybody's challenge right now.
Yeah, right. So
that's definitely
that's what we're focusing. Yeah, that's what we're focusing on, and we have to fulfill the orders that are out there and get inventory levels back to what they need to be, so you guys can continue to do a great job, and then we can look at that, and it would certainly be a great viable product for us, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look forward to it.
Absolutely.
Well,
very good.
I have learned so much. Every time I think I know a lot about Lance, it's always so good to talk to you and get to hear kind of how things have morphed with you guys. I am blown away that you now have 50% newbies.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really? Yeah. That's crazy. I am blown away.
And I'm blown away that you get on Pinterest every single day.
Yeah. So now we know Bob's secret.
Bob, I'll compare notes.
You got to back me up, dude.
I'll share you some pins. It's good. It's all good.
There'll be Pinterest buddies. Bob and Clint.
I have a board there. It's Bobby's favorites, and I shoot them over there. And I really want to build a scrambler motorcycle. I want to take like a 70s vintage, motorcycle and build a scramble on it. So
get two. I'm working on an old KLR right now.
Are you really? Oh, yeah. I worked at Kawasaki for a while.
Oh, yeah. You know it well then. Yeah.
Yeah, we should talk. We just brought it back.
All right, guys. Make a Pinterest board about it.
Don't we have a podcast about RVs? I kind of thought we did.
We have a podcast about joy and fun.
Okay. Well, this qualifies then. Okay. Fair enough.
I gotta tell you, following the squareback pin boards has given me a lot of input for Enduro.
Yes.
Interesting.
Because guys are building these, and girls are building these things in their garage left and right.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see the innovation or what their challenges are and what they like or what they don't like. I learn more as much from Pinterest on innovation on squareback trailers than I do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does Lance know that?
Absolutely. I put Pinterest pictures of square drop trailers in my PowerPoint presentations to talk about product.
Oh my goodness. I love that.
All right.
I love that. Now we know Bob's secret.
There you go.
Bob, it's been so great. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And please remember, visit lancecamper.com to learn all about the product, and then go to your favorite dealer, Princess Craft, where they'll take great care of you.
And we'll link your website, all the cool Lance products on our show page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's easy to find.
There
and we
you
got
go.
the brand new brochures finally out to you guys. So hopefully you've got those, or we'll be getting those in the next day or two.
Thanks, Bob.
And,
we could even link Bobby's Pinterest board.
There you go. I'll tell you what. If you're into motorcycles, fly fishing, RVs, then you'll like it.
Okay, there you go.
Very good.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Appreciate the time.
Mm-hmm. That wraps up the interview with Bob. And once again, I'm back from my living room here on the Sunday afternoon. And because we didn't record an actual out section for this podcast, let's go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can always check on other episodes we've ever done at rvsmalltalk.com. Do subscribe to our podcast, please. In any of your podcast listening apps, we do really enjoy using the Apple Podcast app or Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. Those are some of our go-tos around here. So look us up and follow the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast there. Drop us a comment and a review, please. It always helps us out. Send your questions to questions@rvsmalltalk.com, and we will see you out there camping. Have a wonderful one.